Hey there, it's me again, Nicole Richards, your favorite nurse practitioner. If you are watching this video, that means that you saw the first video and we talked about how we can help uh, change your life, how we can help you become a healthier person, and how you can come into the program and be your best possible self. So before we get you into the program, I want you to do the assessment and I want you to score it and get back to me, drop it in the DMs, and then I'll book you for a call. So let's start out with some questions. And this health assessment is just finding out where you are in your health journey and how much work we have to do, if any. Okay. And we can all use a little tweak. I understand that. So, first of all, with the health assessment, it's rated from 0 to 10. 0 is the absolute lowest score. I do none of these things. I never have had no interest. About 5, you're moderate. You do some things, but not all things pertaining to the questions. And 10, it means that every day you're consistent and you're doing all the things that I'm going to ask you about. So, first of all, I want to know how many of you are meditating? If you don't meditate at all, it's a 0. If you meditate sometimes and really don't have a consistent schedule, you could rate it about a 3. And if you're half and half, like I meditate most days of the week and then I kind of slip away, or 10, you're doing it every day and you're intentional about it. And what people don't understand is meditating is just stepping away, and it's not so much as clearing your mind of everything, it's controlling what's going into your thoughts. So when you're in meditative state, you can chant, you can repeat a scripture or an affirmation that you've heard. And what it is focusing on the words that you're saying and putting those things into your body and into your mind to change where you are in that moment, to open yourself up and to actually listen. Meditating is a lot about listening. And I know sometimes when you are meditating, you hear the outside world, you hear dogs barking, you hear the garbage truck. That's going to happen. And you may drift off, but focus yourself back to where you are. And sometimes you can just count backwards from 100 in your meditative moments. And I generally tell people to start with a minute. And it doesn't seem like a very long time, but if you don't meditate, a minute seems like forever. And just work your way up until where you're comfortable. So that's the first question. Do you meditate? So go ahead and you score that. So make sure you have a pen and paper because I want you to score these things, write them down, and we can talk about it. You can even write yourself a note. I've meditated, I didn't understand it, I don't like it. Whatever it is, go ahead and do that. So when we get on a call together, you can let me know. The second thing, do you give yourself positive affirmations? And they also don't have to be intimidating. I know after watching a specific program, people were putting their affirmations up on their mirror, up on their walls. Whatever you do, you can write them in your journal every day and go back and read them. Um, I listen to music and I may pick out a word from a song and I'll affirm myself. And how often are you doing your affirmations? Are you doing them every day consistently? You would rate yourself a 10. If you are not and you're not doing it at all, of course it's a 0. If you're somewhere in the middle, kind of halfway, you can rate yourself at a 5. And again, affirmations, you can look them up online. You can look up positive affirmations. So, the third question, what does your nutrition look like? And it's I want you to be more specific when we have the call. I want you to write these things down, what your nutrition actually looks like. But are you adhering to a healthy diet? If you know that every day you're eating fast food, you don't cook, you're probably at a 0. If you're doing it sometimes, you're cooking, you're supplementing with fast food items because you have the kids to pick up, you have a busy schedule, you may be at a 5. If you're cooking every day and you are preparing vegetables, you have lean cuts of meat, you're not consuming a lot of sweets and unhealthy items. When I say unhealthy, usually processed foods is what I'm driving at. If you're Not doing that, you'd rate yourself a 10. If you are doing those things, you rate yourself a 10. Number 4, do you measure your food portions? And like before you cook your meat, are you weighing it? And afterwards, after you prepared your meal, are you making sure you get a certain portion of starches or vegetables? Are you paying attention to that? If you're not being mindful of that at all, hadn't thought anything of it, just lump the food on your plate, you give yourself a 0. If you are, you're doing it, but maybe you're not doing it to the level that you know you could be, especially if you're managing your chronic health issues like your diabetes, your blood pressure, and it's reflecting in those numbers, and you know that you could do better. You may be about a 3. If you're doing it half the time, you're a 5. All the time, great, you're at a 10. Still, there's always room for discussion about these things. So, number 5, do you take supplements or vitamins? You take them sometimes, you don't take them at all. If you don't take them at all, that's a 0. If you take them sometimes, midway, 5. If you take them every day without fail, you're at a 10. Now remember, this is a gradient scale. This is based on what you're saying. That's why I tell you, take notes in the margin. You can say, I take my vitamin C every day, I take my zinc every day, but I miss my one a day every now and then. Those are the things that we're going to discuss when you get on the call with me, and they're important. Number 6, how much water are you taking in? Are you taking in 2 glasses a day, 2 bottles a day, less than a gallon a day? And again, sometimes it's hard to rate on a scale. 0, you're not consuming water at all. You drink mostly coffee or soda or juices or maybe some of the energy drinks or, I don't know, vitamin water. If you're doing that mostly and no water intake, you're definitely at a 0. If you're doing it sometimes, midway, and just kind of go from there, gauge where you are. Doing it all the time every day, drinking more than a gallon, that's a 10. Okay? So on number 7, how often do you say you exercise in a week? Are you exercising once a day, every day? That's great. That's a 10. If you don't get off the couch once you come home from work and you don't even walk the dog, you're probably at a 0. And sometimes people tell me, well, I count the steps at work. So if you're doing your steps at work and you're counting those do count for something. If you take the stairs or walk from the furthest distance from the parking lot, all those things do add up. So you're being intentional. You're doing something. So that's all that we're asking for. But kind of gauge that on a scale where you would fit in. Okay? Can you do that for me? And make the notes. Tell me, yeah, I do this stuff. I'm not in the gym, but these are the things I do because they are important. Don't ever minimize any of the work that you do. It's important. Number 8, back to that activity and counting those steps, right? So if you have on your smartwatch, you have a pedometer or you wear a pedometer or a Fitbit. I'm such an old lady. Not old lady. I take that back. I'm joking. But, that was back in the day when we wore pedometers. But I digress. If you have a Fitbit or your watch counts your steps, share with me. Share what those numbers are, and then we can discuss it. But if you're not counting them, that's fine, because you may not have known that that's another gauge to find out where you are with your activity. That's okay too. But start counting them if you haven't. So if you don't count them, it's a 0. Count them every day, it's a 10. Let's say they're tracking, but you don't look at them. Maybe it's a 3. You do it sometimes, it's a 5. But those things do count. So make sure you make the notation after you've put your score in there. And there are no right or wrong answers. Please know this. Don't ever feel like these numbers are going to judge you harshly. They're not. There's always room for everybody. Everybody needs room for improvement. And sometimes it's the not knowing where we get into the struggle of, hey, I didn't know I was supposed to drink more than a bottle of water a day. And that's okay, because we're going to get you there. We'll get you there. Number 9, write down your sleep score. Okay, so once again, are you sleeping less than 4 hours a night? You're not sleeping well. You're not sleeping well. And this may be another indication that something else is wrong. So You can write down 0, no sleep. Somebody sleeping somewhere. You can't not sleep. But if it's a small number, you can say maybe like a 3 or 2. If you're getting 6 to 8 hours, that's great. You're more along the 9, 10, because 8 is optimal. Everybody doesn't function with 8 hours, but we should be reaching for that 8 hour goal. And it depends on age too. So don't get so hung up on, how many hours you've slept the night. There are so many things that factor in. It could be as simple as changing around how you take your medication, omitting coffee and sodas. So please be honest with where you are with your sleep, and then we'll work on it on the cause. Please don't ever get hung up on that. And lastly, number 10, most important, do you have an accountability partner? Who's checking on you? Who's checking on you? Is it your aunt, your girlfriend? If you don't have a person, or you've never even thought about having a person because you're just going to do what you're going to do and you're good with it, then that's a 0 for you. It's not bad. Trust me when I tell you, it's not bad. Some people just don't have a partner who is available, or somebody they would even consider as a accountability partner, because they're there. We may not recognize them as such, but definitely if you have somebody who checks on you every day, not even every day, but you can text or DM or shoot a snap. Hey girl, I did 2 miles today. What'd you do? Those things are important, and those are the check-in person. That's what the accountability person is about. So let's say you've gone through this health assessment. Perfect, beautiful. You made your notations in the margins. And now what I want you to do is do your scores. I want you to total up all of your numbers. If you score between 90 and 100, that's excellent. If you score between 80 and 89, that's good. 70 to 79, that's average. 60 to 69, that's below average. 0 to 59, you need to get help ASAP. And I'm not saying this to make you feel small or feel bad, but something's up. Like I said, sometimes when things medically are going on with us, this number can be an indication that, hey, maybe we should have some conversation. Maybe there's something we need to talk about. Maybe there's something you need to open up to your provider about. But I want to be that person. I want to be your advocate. I want to be your accountability partner. I want you to win on the healthy side of your life, because health is wealth. When you're feeling good and doing great in your body, your mind is clear, you're drinking water, your skin is clear, you just feel like a different person once you've committed to a new healthy way of living. And then you'll start pulling in your family members. You'll pull in some friends who will want the same thing. And then you'll have a whole community who's there for you, who's being accountable. So that's all that I'm working for here. And I'm so excited that you are here, that you are listening to this video, that you are taking the health assessment. And I wish you much success in whatever you decide to do. But I do want you to at least give me that phone call. And it's a free consultation. You don't owe me anything. We're going to sit and talk about the numbers. You can take these numbers and do what you will with them, but I do want you to talk to someone. If it's not me, it's your provider or someone else who can help you figure out why your numbers are low, or figure out how you can get your numbers higher. So with that being said, again, this is Nicole Richards, your favorite nurse practitioner. I wish you health and happiness and peace. I look forward to hearing from you soon. So drop in my DM and I am going to give you a call. Leave your number, and we can even start out if you just want to text or to message each other and see where you are. So I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.